Hello, good morning everyone. We are the group 3. Previously, we understand and learn the concept and the overview of culture as well as the example of Filipino cultures in the Philippines. But today, in this morning, we are going to learn and discover the Western and other cultures, including some of the Asian country. Without further ado, let's go. These are the table of contents for today's discussion. 1. The introduction of Western culture. Second, identifying some Western countries, including their ethics, values, and culture. The next one, introduction to Asian culture. And lastly, identifying some of the Asian countries' culture, including their ethics, morals, and behavior.
Introduction to Western culture.
Western culture is an incredibly broad term used to describe the social norms, belief system, traditions, customs, values, and so forth that have their origin in Europe or are based in European culture. America, for example, is firmly Western in culture. The East Coast of the United States was originally a British colony, and as America developed into its own independent nation, it carried with it many elements of European culture. French culture, Spanish culture, and British culture are all subcategories under the broad category of Western culture. Europe and much of the Western Hemisphere is Western in culture. This is in contrast to the Asia, which is Eastern in culture, and Africa, which has its own unique African culture. Australia is largely Western in culture. In the worldwide community, modern Western living has a distinctiveness and that is unrevealed. Learn about modern-day characteristics of Western life such as democracy, rational thinking, individualism, capitalism, human rights, and social advancement. The following are the some of the key elements of the Western culture. Democracy, which is a system of government in which laws, policies, leadership, and major undertakings are directly or indirectly decided by the people. Rational thinking, Western people really very careful in making decisions. Individualism, the habit or principle of being independent and self-reliant. Christianity, capitalism, modern technology, human rights, scientific thinking. Those are the key elements of the Western culture. And these are the family system in the Western countries. It has the average of 2 children per family and it has a high divorce rate. Usually, if you are reached in 18 years old, you are expected to be independent and leave your home, including your family. Grandparents live alone in their homes, and they will think nothing of introducing you to their family, to their wife, daughters, including to their children. Those are some of the commonly behaviors of the Western family. Next is the Western dress and belief. The West is the trendsetter of the present fashion world. Their clothing includes jeans wear, t-shirts, skirts, pants, shorts, etc. Formal wear is even confined to the three-piece suits. Religion does not define the dress code. When it comes to choosing what to wear to a country concert, you can't go wrong with cowboy or cowgirl's outfit, denim and a t-shirt or flowy top. Wear skinny jeans tucked into your boots or denim shorts for a fun, casual look along with your favorite blouse or flannel button down. And the beliefs are the Christianity, Judaism, atheist, Hinduism, and especially science because Western people are very into scientific thinking. In the Western countries, they put importance to their achievements and accomplishments in life. Practicality, because at a young age, they are taught how to be independent. Material comfort, Western countries known for being materialistic, of course, freedom and equality. In moral and values, the Western culture have throughout history been derived from political thought, widespread employment of rational argument, favoring free thought, assimilation of human rights, the need for equality and democracy. But take note, don't expect Western people to have your morals because their morals did not necessarily follow their beliefs. Before we proceed to the ways and behavior of Western countries, let us first learn what are their languages. English in the Western countries have many accents. European language, including the French, German, Italian, Spanish, etc. British and American don't talk loudly. In their body language, limited hand movement. If you look to someone, just turn your head, not your whole body. If the other countries like Japan, China, eye contact is sign for rudeness or disrespectful. In the Western countries, eye contact while talking to someone is important. Personal space is also important during communication. Smiling, waving, V sign, rude sign, and thumb is also considered as their body or sign language.
Western countries' practices and behavior. Ways and behaviors in United States. First, Americans shake hands when greeting each other. This is true for both men and women. Other forms is greetings such as kissing on the cheeks, etc., is generally not appreciated. Second, Americans look each other in the eyes when they are speaking as a way of showing that they are sincere. Third, family, friends, colleagues use his first name. Fourth, social meals are more about eating than chatting and talking hours over food. Fifth, if you invite someone to the restaurant, you should pay. Six, the fork is held in the hand, forcing down with the knife is held in the right hand. And last, they arrive on time, since time and punctuality are so important to Americans. Next, we have the ways and behavior in United Kingdom. The first one is the etiquette when greeting is to shake hands with all those present, even children. And at social or business meetings, it is polite to also shake hands upon leaving. Next, last names should be used with the appropriate title unless specifically invited to use the first name. Unlike many European cultures, the British enjoy entertaining people in their homes. And although the British value punctuality, you may arrive 10 to 15 minutes later than invited to dinner. It is not always required to remove your shoes when entering a British home, but it is recommended that you ask upon entry whether or not shoes can be worn. Also, remain standing until invited to sit down. You may be shown to a particular seat, and always remember, do not rest your elbows on the table. Now let us move on to the ways and behavior in France. In France, the handshake is a common form of greetings. The first name are reserved for family and close friends. Wait until invited before using someone's first name. In France, table manners are continental. The fork is held in the left hand and the knife in the right hand while eating. Also, if there is a seating plan, you may be directed to a particular seat. Do not begin eating until the hostess says, Bon appetit. And if you have not finished eating, cross your knife and fork on your plate with the fork over the knife. Remember that do not rest your elbows on the table, although your hands should be visible and not in your lap. Also remember that in a French dining, finish everything on your plate. Do not cut salad with a knife and fork. Fold the lettuce onto your fork and peel and slice fruit before eating. Now let's move forward to the ways and behavior in Germany. Greetings are formal. A quick, firm handshake is the traditional greeting. And take note that titles are very important and denote respect. Use a person's title and their surname until invited to use their first name. In general, wait for your host or hostess to introduce you to a group. And when entering a room, shake hands with everyone individually, including the children. And if ever you are invited to a German's home, you should take note of this that you should arrive on time as punctuality indicates proper planning. Never arrive early. and never arrive more than 15 minutes later than invited without telephoning to explain you have been detained. Send a handwritten thank you note the following day to thank your host or hostess for his or her hospitality.
Good morning, everyone. Today, we will not only discuss Western culture but also an Asian culture. So, in Asian society, there are six sub-regions in Asian culture. First, as the Central Asia, and these are Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan. Second is the East Asia, and these are China, Japan, North Korea, South Korea, Mongolia, and Taiwan. Third is the South Asia, and these are India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. The fourth one is the West Asia, which correspond with the Middle East. Fifth, North Asia, and these are Russia and Mongolia. Lastly, the Southeast Asia, and these are Burma, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, and the Philippines. Also in Asian society, the hunter-gatherer, nomadic, agrarian, rural, urban is a structure of Asian society. Traditional Asian culture and modern Asian culture coexist in Asian culture and society. And in terms of religion, Asia is a home of a wide range of religions including the following: Buddhist, Hinduism, Sikhism, Confucianism, Taoism, Shinto, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, tribal religion. When it comes to language, many different languages are spoken in Asia, and the most Asian countries have more than one native language. Indonesia has 600 different languages. Here are over 100 different languages spoken in the Philippines. India has a total of 1,683 native languages. And when it comes to the structure of the family, the importance of the family comes first. Structure of extended and nuclear families. A family with a hierarchical structure, men and older people with better social status. Gender rule and patriarchal or husband lead families. Males are gently regarded and wanted, and they bear a family name. Female are undervalued. They are submissive to men. They perform duties and chores, and they bear children. Elders should be respected. Loyalty to those in position of authority, well behaved, family honor, and loyalty. In the field of arts, literature, and music, art and literature showcase the diversity of Asian culture. Due to the Asia's many sub-region, art and literature are diverse across the continent. In art, there are porcelain, ceramic and pottery, calligraphy, painting, glass and metalware, rugs and textile, architecture. In literature, poetry is a popular type of literature in Asia. In music, Asian music comes in a variety of style and varies by region. In clothing, because of the diversity of the Asian continent, clothing styles differ from country to country and person to person. The misconception there is that Asian wore silk robe and a silk belt and sandals as footwear. But the fact is, clothing styles are divided into three categories: cultural ethics, which is the traditional; contemporary or modern, which is the Western inspired; spiritual or religious; and the gender is a factor, which is the male versus female. And in terms of food, food in Asia differs by region. Foods are that commonly eaten. Rice is a mainstay in most people diets. Other significant mainstay are noodle soup, bread, and curry. Dishes made with fish as popular raw fish in Japan, which is the sushi, and sashimi. The most frequent meats are goat, lamb, and chicken. Beef is forbidden in Hinduism. Spice based dishes are common in Southeast Asia. Ginger, cumin, cinnamon, nutmeg, and coriander are some of the spices used in the dish. The most prevalent Asian cooking method is stir frying. Ethics in the dining room in China, Japan, Korea, and Vietnam, chopstick are used to eat. In India, eating with one hand are common practice.
Thank you, April, for sharing that very interesting information. And to continue the discussion, I would also like to share an interesting topic, which is the religion as a determinant of ways and behavior. Do you know, guys, that religion is one of the factors why Asians have different values and practices? In Judaism and Christianity, men seek to control the environmental and be master of the universe. For example, floods and droughts are forces of nature that are caused by the gods to test human capacity to survive. Meanwhile, it is the opposite of Taoism and Shinto. Generally, these religions considered nature as a great and caring. Taoism teaches the law of nature, while in Shinto, spirit known as kami live in natural things, offering are given and ceremonies are performed for these kami. Let us now proceed into Asian ways and behavior. Religion and philosophy shape culture. This culture is reflected in the people's behavior and ways. Ways and behavior in China. Socially, hierarchy is very important for the Chinese in their interaction with other people. This is a result of Confucian influence in Chinese civilization. Chinese would like to determine the place of birth, age, civil status, and earning capacity of a new acquaintance. Respect and high regard for elders. Examples: greeting elder people first before the younger ones. They wait for the elder people to sit before they do so. When the elder goes out of the door, the younger person usually assists him or her by opening the door. Chinese people usually do not show their affection and feelings to non relatives and distant friends through actions like hugging and back slapping. Chinese table manners: rice and soup are served on bowls, wine and tea in cups, and main dishes on plates. Noodles or soup are usually served hot and eaten with slurping sounds to show that the food is delicious. When the Chinese eat rice from the bowl, they place the bowl near their mouth to keep the rice from falling to the table. Now, ways and behavior in Japan. The Japanese also have high regard for social hierarchy. This is depicted on the manner of this is depicted in the manner of bowing, the duration of lowness of bending one's body. Sometimes they combine the handshakes as a greeting. In calling the attention of another, they usually add the word san to the last syllable of a person's family name. For example, Tanaka-san and Takizawa-san. Just like the Chinese, the Japanese use chopsticks in eating. However, Japanese chopsticks are shorter, more pointed, and made of ivory and lacquered wood. They also eat their soup and noodles with a slurping sound. Tea drinking was elevated into an art. Japanese drink a traditional rice wine called sei. Now, the ways and behavior in India. The traditional greeting among Hindus in India is Namaste, which means good day. They say this greeting with hands held together as if in prayer, placed near to the chin and with the head slightly bent forward. Namaste. The greeting among Muslims is Assalamu alaikum, or may peace be with you. For the Sikhs, it is Sat Shri Akal. Public display of affection, like kissing, hugging, and holding hands, is highly discouraged. At least one arm's length distance when opposite sex meet and talk in public. Indians believe that the head is a very sensitive part of the body, so it should not be touched by other people. Indians consider that the food they eat and religions are closely connected since all their food emanate from their gods. Men and women eat separately. They only use the right hand for eating because they consider the left hand as unclean and insanity. Waste in behavior in Indonesia. Indonesia, the largest archipelago in the world, has served as an important trade center in the region as a crossroad of different cultures. Islam is the dominant religion in Indonesia. When introduced to another person, an Indonesian usually offers his or her right hand for a handshake while the left hand is placed on the chest to show sincere pleasure in meeting the other person. But take note, this is discouraged between opposite sexes. Holding hands in public between unmarried males and females is not encouraged. Now, let's proceed to the ways and behavior in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is one of the important countries in West Asia. Two of the most sacred places of Islam, which is the Mecca and the Medina, can be found in this country. Burqa, it is a long dress that almost totally covers the head and body, leaving only the eyes exposed. Bedouins, the nomadic people who live in tents in the desert of Arabia. The custom of the Bedouins is to invite into their tent any traveler who passes by. The travelers are offered food and invited to stay, usually up to 3 days in their tents. Assalamu alaikum, may peace be with you, greeting of the owner of the tent. And wa alaikum assalam, and peace be with you also, response of of the guest to the greetings. Now, to conclude, let us take note that culture is an important determinant of ways and behavior of any group of people. It determines the manner of interaction among people and the frame of mind with which to view the world and one's life. Some of the values and practices common among Asian people are respect for elders, respect for the collective interest, being helpful to others, and respect for the environment. It is important to maintain Asian and behavior in order to preserve our Asian identity. And that's all I can share. I hope you learned something, and I hope that you like our videos. That's all. Thank you.